Welcome to Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and the Shades of Gray block of the month for November is a great block from Quilting Confections because you can make it a very scrappy quilt. You could use up all of your scraps for this type of a block, or you can design exactly where every fabric's going to go. So for today's block, we're going to use 5 different colors. The first color is going to be a very, very light color, and you need to make 4 blocks at 3 inches, so they're 3-inch squares. Then you need 2 mediums, and each of these are 4 inches. And what we're going to do is we're going to make half square triangles out of these. So you're able to put the right sides together, draw the line down the center, and sew on each side. Cut them apart and press them open. And then after they're pressed open, you'll be able to square them up to 3 inches. The next 2 colors are going to be dark, though I still want to have a contrast between them. And you need to have 4 of each color at 4 inches. And just as before, we're going to match them up, draw the line, sew on each side to make them half square triangles. And we're going to trim them to 3 inches. And for pressing the seams for the half square triangles, I would press half of them going towards the light and press the other half going towards the dark. To construct the block, it's very easy. You're going to take your 4 and you are going to have your print facing into the center. So take 2 of the seams that are pressed in this direction and then place the seams that are going in the opposite direction in this way. And by doing it this way, the seams will be opposing. Sew down each side. Then when it's open, you'll be able to sew down the center. By opening that seam, you're going to have a little 4 patch here, but it makes it lie nice and flat. The layout of the block is very simple. You're going to have 4 corners, then the half square triangles are going to fill the spots, and you need to take 1 from each of the pile of how you've pressed the seams in opposite directions, and that way they're going to nestle together when you put them here. The dark is going to go towards the outside, so you have this V shape, and the seams should be in opposite directions. So lay this out for the rest of the block. So to finish sewing this block together, sew these 2 pieces together first here, and then join them here. By sewing these 2 on first, you're able to keep those seams lined up with these seams, and they're opposing, so they nestle together. The next is going to be sewing the 2 ends on. So you're going to sew the 2 together and the 2 together on both sides. When the sides are done, put them right up against the centerpiece, and you'll be able to see exactly what direction to press those seams. Sew the 2 sides on and press. The 2 side seams I like to press in, and the block is done. So each of these colors could actually be different. As long as you had a dark and a light, it would work out. So it's a great scrap buster. So I went through all my stash and I got all my grays and blacks, and I've made the same block with the blue in the center. And instead of using light grays, I used white, and I made 4. And when you put 4 together, you get a secondary pattern. However, instead of putting 4 together, I'm going to put 4 together lengthwise, and I'm going to make a table runner. And when this is sewn together, I am going to have this come to a point. So I'm going to cut off a piece of each of the end squares, and this will become a point. So I have sewn on a large piece of blue on each end. When the quilting has been complete, that is when I'm going to trim off this corner to the point. So I made 4 of these blocks out of all my leftover grays and blacks with a little bit of white, put a little point on the end, and I have a quick table runner. Thank you for joining me on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe, and as always, come on back. Let's see what we're sewing next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.